Let me ask you something that might sound a little surprising. What do you usually wear to bed when you really like someone? Do you go for that sexy lace number, the Satan chemists, the matching lingerie set you bought just in case the night gets spicy? Or do you reach for your favorite oversized t-shirt and a pair of cozy Z-shorts, the ones you've had for years? Realize that because here's the thing that most people don't talk about. Men don't just notice what you wear to bed. They feel it. It's not just about how you look and what you're wearing. It's about what it says. What you wear to bed sends a message. It tells him how comfortable you are, how confident you feel. Realize that how close you're willing to let him get. And sometimes what makes the biggest impact isn't a lacy bra or silky robe. It's that subtle, unexpected choice that makes him feel like he's been let in behind the curtain. And let me be real with you, when a man cares about you, they realize that he's not obsessing over whether your outfit could be in a Victoria's Secret catalog. He's tuning into something much deeper. He's paying attention to how you feel in your body, what parts of yourself you're willing to share, and the little ways you make the space between you feel intimate. So today, I want to take you beyond the clichés, because the truth is, there are 5 things he really wants you to wear to bed, and only one of them has anything to do with clothing. Let's go there. There's something incredibly simple and profoundly intimate about a woman wearing his t-shirt to bed. It's not just fabric. It's not just a casual swap of clothing. It's a message. They're a gesture, a symbol. When you put on his shirt, especially when it's soft, slightly oversized, and still carries his scent, it tells him something no words could ever express quite the same way. I feel close to you. I want to be wrapped up in you. Realize that even when you're not physically touching me, what men often won't say out loud, but absolutely feel deep down, is how emotionally charged this tiny moment is. When a woman puts on his shirt, it's not being about overly sexy or making a statement. And yet, ironically, it's one of the sexiest things a man can witness, not in a flashy red lipstick, their high heels kind of way, but in a way that strikes him straight in the chest. It's a combination of vulnerability and confidence. You didn't try to seduce him. You just existed there. And in doing that, you left a mark on him. Men are wired to protect, to provide, to feel needed. And when you wear his shirt, it ignites that emotional trigger in him. It quietly says, I'm yours for the night, but also you're mine too. There's a mutual claiming in that moment that makes a man's heart soften and his attraction heighten. Realize that it's one of those unspoken romantic cues that makes him look at you and think, God, I love this woman. What makes it even more powerful is that it's not premeditated. There, you weren't trying to be seductive. You weren't posturing. You were comfortable, relaxed, maybe even laughed while putting it on. And that moment, that is what he stores in his memory. Because while physical beauty may grab attention, emotional intimacy holds it. And the best part, you don't even realize the impact you're making. To you, it may have just been a quick decision because you didn't want to sleep in your clothes. Maybe you thought his shirt smelled nice. Or maybe you liked how it hung off your shoulder. They're giving that effortless vibe. But to him, it's something different. It's you settling into his world without asking permission. It's you moving from guest to home. It's you saying, I feel safe with you, without ever needing to say those words out loud. It also creates an anchor in his emotional memory. Every time he sees that shirt later, folded, worn, or thrown over a chair, he remembers you in it. And that visual becomes imprinted in a way lingerie rarely does, because lingerie says, look at me. His shirt says, I belong here. And men don't just want to be turned on, they want to be connected. They want to feel like you're part of their life, not just passing through it there. So don't underestimate that moment when you throw on his t-shirt and crawl into bed beside him. It's not lazy. It's not casual. It's quietly powerful. It taps into his instinct to protect, realize that to nurture, to love. And most importantly, it allows him to feel you in the purest, most undistracted way. You're not hiding behind a costume. You're just being you. And that version of you, that's the one he dreams about when you're not around. That's the one he wishes he could wake up next to night after night. Their confidence is the one thing you can wear to bed that outshines every piece of clothing you'll ever own. And the crazy part is women don't even realize when they're wearing it. They're too busy worrying about their bodies, about how they look under certain lighting, about whether something's jiggling or not sitting just right. But while you're inside your own head, measuring every perceived flaw, the man beside you is craving something far deeper than perfection. He's craving presence. You see, confidence doesn't walk in wearing lace or silk. It walks in with stillness, with certainty. It doesn't try to impress. It just is. And in the bedroom, confidence becomes magnetic. It's in the way you claim your space, the way you don't rush to cover yourself the moment the lights come on, the way you look him in the eye, unbothered, unashamed, realize that they're fully rooted in your own worth. A man can feel when you're shrinking, when you're dimming your light in the hope that it'll make you more lovable. But what actually makes him obsessed with you is when you expand instead, when you let your full self be seen, not through some show, but through the quiet strength of self-acceptance. That moment when you lie beside him, unfiltered, unguarded, and unapologetically you, that's when the real intimacy begins. And here's what's wild though, realize that your body doesn't have to be flawless for him to be completely captivated. Confidence isn't about the shape of your waist or the tightness of your skin. It's about the relationship you have with yourself. A woman who loves her body, even in its imperfections, is irresistibly seductive because confidence gives permission. It tells him it tells okay to be vulnerable too. It invites him into a space where performance isn't required, where masks can fall, and where real connection can unfold. When you walk into that bedroom and you bring the energy, I know I'm enough, you light up something primal in him. You become unforgettable. You become the woman who didn't just share her body, she shared her energy. And that is something no lingerie will ever replace. Now, don't get me wrong. Sexy outfits have their moment, but they're a bonus, not the foundation. Confidence is the real lingerie. It's invisible, but it wraps around you tighter than anything else. Realize that it makes him want you not just because of how you look, but because of how you carry yourself, how you move, how you breathe in your own skin. The most beautiful women aren't the ones who have perfect proportions. They're the ones who stopped trying to meet someone else's definition of beauty. Realize that they're the ones who walk through life with the inner knowing that they're already worthy. And when you bring that energy into the bedroom, they realize that you don't just turn him on, you turn his world upside down. So don't waste time rehearsing poses or angling your body to look slimmer. Don't get lost in overthinking what you should be doing to be more attractive. Instead, drop into the moment, let yourself be. Show up in your softness, your laughter, your stillness, your breath. Because when a woman wears her confidence to bed, it becomes the most intimate invitation a man could ever receiving. Here I am. This is me. There. And I'm not afraid to let you see all of it. And when a man is met with that level of openness, of self-love, of inner fire, he doesn't just desire you, he remembers you. There's a part of attraction we rarely talk about. We talk about visuals, curves, eye contact, what you wear. But one of the most powerful triggers of desire and connection, scent. Yes, the way you smell naturally, instinctively, has the anchor a man to you in a he won't even be able to explain. Because here's what most people don't realize that men are deeply sensory creatures. And while their eyes may notice first their sense of smell that creates emotional memory, that soft, barely there fragrance lingering on your skin, the familiar scent of your favorite lotion, the shampoo you always use things embed themselves in his mind like music. And over time, that smell becomes a part of what you are to him. Realize that you may think it's just your body wash. He thinks it's what home smells like. He notices it when you're curled up next to him, when you shift closer in the middle of the night, when your hair brushes across chest. It's not loud. It's not perfumed to perfection. It's yours. And when a man starts associating that scent with closeness, softness, and safety, something changes in him. He doesn't just want to sleep with you. That's why be near you. That's why wearing something to bed that carries your scent That even if it's the simplest tank top or a comfy sweatshirt, becomes unexpectedly powerful. That smell clings to the fabric, and later, when you're not there, he catches a trace of it and it stirs something in his body he didn't plan for. Longing, craving, a memory wrapped in desire. And here's the deeper true thing. It's not just about sexual attraction, it's about emotional imprinting. You become the scent that calms him, that excites him, that draws him in. Realize that you become that invisible thread that lingers in his space long after you've gone home. You might think he's obsessed with how you look in that little sleep shirt there, but what he'll never admit is that he's just obsessed with how it smells, because it smells like you, like warmth, like skin. Like closeness, you don't need to bathe in perfume. In fact, being overly scented can drown out your natural chemistry. The most intoxicating smells are the ones that aren't trying so hard. They're a hint of your moisturizer, a trace of your hair, that combination of you and the softness of what you sleep in. And when he wraps his arms around you, that smell be part of the memory he's forming of what it feels like to be next to you, to fall asleep beside you, to wake up in your arms. You see, men don't always know how to articulate this. They'll say you smell nice or good, but it's much more than that. What they mean is, your scent just did something to me. I feel something when I'm close to you. It's Kier's chemistry, biology, emotion, all tangled into one subtle sensual signal. So don't underestimate this. Don't dismiss it as unimportant or accidental. When you wear something to bed that holds your scent, something that's uniquely, unmistakably you leave more than an impression. They realize there you leave a craving, and he'll keep that scent with him on his pillow, in his clothes, in his memory, because long after the lights are off and the touch fades, realize that the smell of you remains. And sometimes that's the most seducting thing of all. If there's one thing that keeps intimacy fresh, fun, and alive, it's playfulness there. And I don't mean being silly or immature. I mean that lightness, that unexpected moment where you show up with a little spark in your eye and say, without words, this doesn't have to be so serious. Because let's be honest, sexiness isn't always about tension. It's not always about being sultry and mysterious and brooding. Sometimes what drives a man absolutely wild is when you walk into the bedroom with zero pressure and all personality. It's when you wear something to bed that makes him laugh before it turns him on. Realize that maybe it's that cheeky little pair of pajama shorts with the cartoon pineapples on them, or a t-shirt that says Nap Queen in sparkly letters. Maybe it's your oversized hoodie with sleeves longer than your arms. It could even be those ridiculous fuzzy socks you love that make you look like a kid on Christmas morning. And yet somehow you still manage to look like the sexiest woman he's ever seen, because here's what he's really responding: Tog, your joy, your comfort, your ease. There's something magnetic about a woman to feel like she has to perform to be sexy. A woman who can be playful in the bedroom sends a very powerful messaging. They realize that I'm not here to impress you, I'm here to connect with you. And that is unbelievably attractive. When you show up in something playful, you invite him into your world. You say, this is who I am. You bring down the walls. You take off the pressure. You remind him that intimacy would have to be a scene from a movie. It can be something real, relaxed. They realize and ridiculously fun. And here's the secret: most women don't know men love this, because for a man to feel truly connected, he needs to feel like he can relax with you that he doesn't have to be on, that he can laugh, that he can breathe, that the bedroom isn't just a place for performance. It's a place for presence. Realize that they're wearing something playful to bed. You say, I don't take myself too seriously, but I still know exactly who I am. And that mix of confidence and ease, realize that it creates a whole new level of desire. Because think about it. What do men always say about the women they fall hard for? That she makes me laugh. She's fun. I can totally be myself around her. And you know what's better than being sexy? Being unforgettable. And women who show up with playfulness realize that they're with authenticity, with a little wink and a sense of humor. They stay in a man's heart long after the lights go out. So the next time you're getting ready for bed, don't overthink it. There, don't stand in front of your mirror analyzing every angle or trying to find something that screams seduction. Instead, ask yourself, there, what would make me smile tonight? Because when you smile, when you feel good, realize that when you bring that playful energy into the room, you light him up in ways you'll never fully see in the mirror. And trust me, he notices. He may not always say it, but he feels it. That freedom, that openness, that moment where things feel easy again. That's what makes him crave more than your body. It makes him crave your presence. Your playfulness is the permission he didn't know he needed to let go and love deeper. So wear the fuzzy socks, wear the oversized tee, wear whatever makes you feel relaxed, silly, realize that they're in fully yourself, because in the end, that's exactly what he wants in bed. The real you, laughing, alive, and completely irresistible. Realize there, let me tell you the truth that too many women forget in a world that's constantly trying to tell them how to be sexy. The sexiest thing you can ever wear to bed is whatever makes you feel like you. Not what Cosmo says, not what Instagram says, not even what he says there. Because when you're connected to yourself, when you're in alignment with your own comfort, sensuality, and softness, you glow. And no amount of lace, silk, or push-up padding can outshine that kind of radiant, effortless confidence. Is what I've seen over and over again when working with women. They're the ones who try to dress the part of what they think men want, often end up performing intimacy instead of experiencing it. Dress for the male gaze, they're not for their own sense of safety and connection. And while it may grab attention for a moment, it's not sustainable. Why? Because it's not real. Therein men, especially the ones who want something meaningful, are drawn to real. When you wear something that makes you feel at home in your body, that's when you become truly magnetic. It might be a soft cotton cami. It might nothing at all. It might be a pair of old frayed pajama pants that you've had for years. But if it brings you peace, ease and sensuality in your own skin, that energy will radiate off of you like perfume. He'll feel it. He won't always know how to name it, but trust me, he'll feel it. There, because a woman who knows herself is irresistible. When you wear something to bed, makes you feel safe, cozy, sexy, relaxed. He feels that invitation. He doesn't just see you, he experiences you. And that's when his obsession begins. Not because you wore the right outfit, but because you walked into the room in full ownership of your space, your energy, your body. That kind of energy doesn't beg for validation. It doesn't ask, do you like this? It already knows the answer. It knows that the right man will be drawn to who are when you're not trying to be anything but yourself. And here's where it gets even more powerful. When you dress for you give him permission to let his guard down too. You create a space of emotional safety. You turn the bedroom into a place of connection, not just performance. Realize that there. And that is what turns physical intimacy into emotional depth. Men want to feel you in your most natural, unapologetic, unfiltered state. That moment when you're lying next to him there, in your favorite sleepwear, without pretending to be anything, is the moment that sticks in his mind long after the night ends. That's the woman he fantasizes about there, not because was the most dressed up, but because she was the most present. So if there's ever a night when you're unsure of what to wear to bed there, here's the simplest and most powerful question to ask yourself. What would make me feel most like me tonight? Not the version of you you've been told to be. Not the curated version, not the performance, just you. Because the moment you allow yourself to be seen in that way, the moment you choose presence over perfection, is the moment you become unforgettable. The man who's worth your time doesn't want the costume, he wants the woman underneath it. And when you wear that woman to bed, he'll fall deeper in love with you. Over and over again, there. So now you know, when he imagines you in bed, it's not always the lingering fantasy the world assumes men crave. It's something far more powerful and far more personal. Realize that it's the moment you wear his t-shirt and look like you've claimed a part of him. It's the way you slip under the sheets wrapped in nothing but confidence. They're more magnetic than anything silk could ever give you. It's the scent of you. Soft, real, unforgettable, lingering on the pillow long after the night is over. It's the playfulness the humor there, the light-hearted sparkle that says, let's make this fun. And most importantly, it's whatever makes you feel like you. Because when you feel good in your skin, there you give him the most intimate gift of all, the real you. And that's the you he craves, the you he stays up thinking about, the you he falls for in the moments you're not trying to be anything there. So tonight, don't dress for fantasy, dress for freedom, dress for connection, for the woman you are when you're not performing, when you're fully present, soft, grounded, and alive. That woman, she doesn't just wear sex, she is sexy. And trust me, that's the version of he wants to wake up next to again and again and again. There. Now go. Put on whatever makes you feel most like yourself, because that's what he really wants you to wear to bed. And deep down, you already knew it.